Thursday. What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Hello, everybody. What's up, Jacob? Good to see you. What's up, Arif? What's up, Kareem? So good to see you guys. Good to be here with you guys. Another Thursday, another creation we're going to be doing today. And like Arif said, yes, we're going to be spinning the wheel today. I'm excited. I'm also a little nervous about it. You know, spinning the wheel, for those who don't know, that is what we do here on the show sometimes to challenge ourselves. So essentially what we're doing is that I'm spinning the wheel, and whatever it lands on is what I do. So it's gonna prompt me to either do like a poster. What I did is that I went to ChatGPT and I was like, hey, prompt me to do some creative, either poster or branding or mini branding or something like that. And it created 10 prompts. I haven't read them yet. I dropped them into the wheel thing, and we'll see what comes out of it. So I'm excited to do it. And if you guys are excited, say hi on the chat. What's up, Danielle? Good to see you. Say what's up on the chat if you're here, and if you want to say hello. It's always helpful to see you guys in the chat and interacting, and that's really, it just makes me excited to create with you guys. Like we always say on the show is about, you know, sparking creativity, working more, doing more things outside of the box, and having your own personal project, things that you can have fun doing. Luckily, I get to do this every day. I get to create every day for other people, but it's always so good to just sit down and create for yourself. I feel like it's such a big thing. So what's up, Jenny? Good to see you. Yeah, so if you're here, you want to drop, on the chat where you're from, what you're doing, what you're being up to, you can do that. You can also go to our Discord. Oh, touch the ring. There it is. I'm sorry, guys. So you can go to a Discord and you can drop your artwork in here, and I'm going to review the artwork. That's what I'm doing right now. So we have this winter Powell art. Let me see what it says. I made this for my Photoshop class taking this summer. I let a girl, aka me, on her journey to create comics and illustrate illustrate things that inspire her along the way. This is sick. Okay, I love that. And I love that you're mixing your personal style of drawing with some of the, I'm assuming, works that you've done in the past, some covers and some things that you've done in the past. It looks cool, and I like that you're exploring in Photoshop. You know, I don't know what the main thing is. Maybe you're working towards this thing that you're creating, let your creativity flourish. I love that you're doing that. I love that you did a mock-up. I do also critique some of these things that you guys posting here, and the reason why I do that is because, you know, I want to give you guys some pointers on what to do best in the future. So I think here, because you're exploring and showing different artworks that you have, some of them are clearly marked like as the individual artworks, but some of them are not. So what I would do is that I would commit to one of those looks. So I would do, you know, maybe lines around all of these to where you see is clearly different images, and I will blend them better with your bridge, right? So if you have a bridge, maybe put them under it even a little bit more, where it interacts a little bit more with it. And then this main goal thing, if this is something that has meaning to you, maybe make it shine or something on the back. And yeah, so I feel like, you know, there's a gap between what we want to accomplish visually and what we can do in the moment. So as long as you're doing that journey, which you clearly are, you're in the right path, which is super cool. Okay, so having beautifully picture on Unsplash and transform it into my style. So they found this image of this tiger and then transform it into this cool kind of texture. These are really, really cool. And they remind me of like a sports design, like maybe some shoes or like some patterns that would go on a billboard or something like that. These are really cool. I love what you're doing here. The use of color is pretty cool. This looks like a negative version of the other one. Maybe that's what it is, but it looks amazing. One thing that I love about what you're doing here is these textures that you have on the background. I feel like it helps a lot, that kind of look. And I love the style that you're doing. If I could critique something, is your shadows kind of are distracting too much from your general shaping. So I would even commit to doing the shadows on a blue color, for example, because that way you can clearly see the black, clearly see the blue underneath. And that way it separates the design a little bit better visually. People can interpret it a little bit better. So that's something that I would definitely do. So if you are thinking about doing more things like this, doing a shadow that's blue instead of black, so that people can identify pretty well what it is, right? So that's a piece of advice that I would give. What's up, Annie? Thank you for being here. That's something that I would do here, so that you can separate both things. People can clearly see it. It's a little bit of a piece of advice that I would do here, because I feel like you have a lot of like potential with like how energetic this feels and how aggressive it feels, and I love it. It's just that detail is stealing from the sharpness of your design a little bit. So I will make the shadows blue. Like I feel like that would fix a lot of it, and then I would accentuate also the texture on it, so that it feels even more intentional than it is. I feel like that would be a good tip for this. But I love even the switch of color that we have here. All right, we have another image from Arif. So he says that original image from Pixel, which is this. Okay, awesome. And then we have your using a pop-up glitch style portrait with polka dots style inside of Photoshop. Awesome. All right, so we see another kind of like same kind of thing with texture. I feel like Arif is using the textures even more than the design before. And this is kind of what I meant on the design before. If you commit to the halftone, just committing fully to it. And Arif, I've seen you grow in this show a lot, and I see that you keep progressing on that path, which is great. And I see that you're using this effect pretty well. And one thing that I like about this, I'll tell you what, because I've seen some of the other designs that you've posted here, is that you are not mixing too many styles now, which is great. Because in the past, one thing that early designers do a lot is they're so excited about all the different styles, and they start mixing all the different styles together. You are sticking to one style, and I think that is huge. So if you're doing this halftone style, do that fully, explore it fully, what you can do with it without mixing too many things together. I feel like that's really helpful. I feel like you still have to work a little bit on your fonts and the fonts that you're mixing and using together, because like you can see here, they're kind of similar, but they're not. So if you're working on a poster or artwork, you want to have one font that's crazy out of the box, like each of these feel pretty crazy and out of the box, and the other one is supporting that font. So here you have two competing fonts that feel both a little crazy. I hope that makes sense. So that's something that I will look into a little bit more. Okay, we have this from Coco. And it's this artwork. It looks really cool. We did some slicing on the last show or the show before, and it looks like he's doing a little bit of that. It looks beautiful. A lot of like beautiful colors, super bright. One cool thing to see sometimes when people are doing like work like this is that a lot of people that do kind of like mixing work and composition work, they do it on dark environments because it's easier to maintain. Here you're doing a bright environment, and it's showing, you can see all the little things, and you're putting a lot of effort into doing the highlights and shadows, which are beautiful. If you're here, drop a like on the chat. I want to see you, or drop a thumbs up on the chat. I want to see you, and I want to say this is beautiful. Great job on this. I like how everything is working and how it's coming together. If I can critique something about this, would be a little bit of the balance. You have a really busy fabric down here, and you're complementing that with everything that's going up here. So that balance feels really good. So the visual balance feels good. The balance that feels a little bit off to me is the position of these items really close to the edge in comparison to nothing being close to the edge up here, right? So when we're looking at balance, we want to look at two extremes, right? So maybe I would have cropped this image a little bit low and expand it a little bit wider, which you can do with, you can just expand the canvas in Photoshop nowadays, and you don't have to like recreate a lot of the image. So that's something that I would do. Just create a little bit more air, let it breathe a little bit. I feel like that would be, just help this a lot. So, okay, so we have one more artwork that we'll review. And if you have artworks, drop them in here. I'm gonna check again at the end of the show, but I'd love to see what you guys got going on. All right, so we have this artwork by S. I don't know his full name. Made this 3D face in Illustrator and then animated it in Photoshop. This is cool. Okay, I love this. Someday, forever, yesterday, today, tomorrow, and in this kind of like shape. And then you have the animated version this person did inside of Photoshop. Okay, so it looks like you did this with using like traditional shapes, and then using the 3D tool inside of Illustrator. If you guys don't know how to use that, you can just Google 3D shapes Illustrator, and you'll see some tutorials on how to do this. And it looks pretty good render. It looks like, you know, it's actually inflatable. And then the cool thing is with AI now, you can incorporate on top of these more realistic textures, which I don't even think this person is doing right now, but I love the use of animation plus the use of those more traditional tools. If I could improve something here, would be just the balance of styles that you have going on. You have a very flat background, and then you have a very 3D shape in the middle. So what I would do is that I would maybe, it's not to make a 3D background, obviously, but to make a more simple background, because these lines back here with the gradients and the lines going through, I feel like it distracts a little bit from the main thing, right? So maybe just a solid background on the back from blue to green would have been a little bit better. Or maybe the same color that you have up here, but it just fades into a blue, would have, you know, kind of like consolidated your look a little bit better. So same thing with these dark letters on the back. I would have maybe make those green, since you're doing this bottom part green, and it's going to be just a lot more fresh. But I feel like it's a beautiful design. You're doing testing new things, animating things, testing the 3D tools, and I love that. All right, so those are all the things for today, for this week. I have opened over here the wheel with some prompts over here, and we're going to be jumping into it right now. Yeah, absolutely. You're S. Daniel, what's up? I didn't know you were S. Okay. I hope that feedback helps, and that you kind of like caught some of those things in beautiful work. Thank you for submitting it. All right. So, okay, before I spin the wheel, one thing that I do want to say, please like this video and subscribe to the Adobe Live channel. Also, yeah, we want other people to see it, share it with a friend, all the good stuff. We see a lot of people that, you know, necessarily don't join during the live, that they see it during the week, and that community grows through that. So thank you for liking the video. Thank you for being here. Thank you for commenting also in the chat. That helps a lot with the engagement. So I really appreciate you guys for doing that. All right, let's jump into this thing. Let me click on the spin and let's see what we get. I have a couple things open here. I have Pinterest for inspiration, and I have ChatGPT to help us with the wording of it. So you guys know I'm terrible writing. Okay, create a poster for a fictitious space travel company. You know, I didn't read this before we get started. So I'm reading it just right now, and I'm not opposed to doing this. This just seems pretty kind of straightforward, and something that's been done so many times that is, to me, is not that exciting. Maybe we can do it. I mean, it is what it is, right? It landed on the thing. So what do you guys think? Should we do it, or should we do one more spin? I'm down to do one more spin. If it, you know, it gives us something more interesting. I guess we can do this. So let's just be fair to the game. I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to get rid of this. It's just that I feel like it's something that is kind of overdone. But let me know. I know the stream is a couple of, like, probably half a minute behind what I'm saying. So I'm gonna wait for you guys. While I do that, I'm gonna drop this in ChatGPT, and I'm gonna ask it to give me a tagline. One thing that I've seen is that ChatGPT jumps into creating images lately, and we don't want that. What we want is like, okay, perfect. It's doing that. Okay. So celestial voyage and beyond the earth within reach. And then it gave me some things. All right. So it gave me a few things that we could do, which is really cool. One more spin. All right. We'll do one more spin then, and we'll see what we like. Let me remove that. One more. Awesome. Okay, so we have that, and then let's do this one now. Let me do another spin and see what we get. Yeah, because that one feels overdone. Like, I feel like a bunch of people done astronaut things, and I kind of want to do something different. Create a poster for a surreal art exhibition. Surreal art exhibition. Okay, what do you guys think? I feel like something that also I've done a lot of, which could be cool. I think we can do either. I feel like let's remove that, and let me throw that subject in here. And let's see what we get. Yeah, ChatGPT changes animation and goes into this kind of thing that looks like it's creating an image. So it kind of gives me, like, I feel like it's going to create an image, but it's not. Dream State Gallery, where reality sleeps. Dream State Gallery, it's a little description that I asked for. It's giving me some prompts here of how to create it visually, but I don't know. That's a good one. Jenny says, Arif wants another one. I'm going to do another one just for the sake of seeing what comes up with it, but we're going to have to do one of those two. Otherwise, we're going to be here forever, right? Create an artwork for what? Artwork for a series about dreams and memories. This is sick. This seems a little bit more out of the box. Okay. This one. Yeah, that one looks a little bit more out of the box. What do you guys think? Okay. 1, 2, or 3? 1, 2, or 3? Echoes of Sleep. Okay. Fragmented of Dreams. All these are really cool. I like this. Arif says, Jenny, what do you think? Ani, what do you think? Kareem, what do you guys think? Everybody likes I like the third one better too. Dreams. Okay. Danielle likes 3 as well. All right. Sweet. Okay. So let's start the process because we've gotten behind a little bit on time. We have 40-ish minutes to create this. So one thing I have open here is I have a bunch of photos open because I'll walk you guys through the process of like creating kind of the whole thing, right? Because before, I don't even have Photoshop open. That's going to take a second. One thing that I normally do is when I show up on the on the live, I already have a little bit of the image created, or at least the main image that I'll be using created, and then I'll jump into just editing and the process of editing. But right now, I don't have anything open, so I'm gonna have to create that first image. So we're gonna be creating a new, this is the right thing, but it's the other way around. So the right sizing for my poster. And what I'm thinking is that I want a person here. So what are we doing again? We're doing the dreams. Echoes of Sleep. Okay. So maybe somebody with their eyes closed here. Maybe we can have a big head. Eyes closed. This drawing is gonna look so funny. Like somebody like kind of like smiling. And maybe we can do fragments of the dream or the thing. This sketching looks so bad. Happening around the subject. So we have the ears here. Maybe we can have the person be wearing something interesting. I saw some of those masks over there. I feel like it would be cool. Something like that. Maybe we can grab this whole thing. And let me go back. We can have like a hand holding the head that's having the dreams. That could be cool too. So this is the head. So this is the person's head. They're sleeping. And the squares represent the dreams. Those are the initial ideas that I'm having. Your sketch is better than me. I don't know. I don't think so. So those are the two options that I'm having in my brain. Okay, let's start creating some of the assets for that. I'm gonna go to Firefly. I was looking at this before the show. This edit image, they were showcasing these dreams from look, it's dreams. So they were showcasing this project of somebody that used this process inside of Firefly to create, and it's really cool. Look at this water. That's sick. This is I promise this wasn't planned, obviously, but this is dreams, and there's a lot of inspiration here that we can have. I pulled this up because I opened this, and I always go straight to boards, but I went to the image creating part of the website, and I was looking at some of these things, and I saw they were highlighting this, so I opened it. So I think the use of smoke, the use of fire is pretty cool here. So maybe we can do something similar to that. It looks like they even have like videos kind of explaining the edit process. Let's see. Let me mute that. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I'll mute it. So it looks like the person is doing a lot of like, obviously racing the people around, comping some things inside of Photoshop, and then comping some other things. I wonder what they started using. Okay, so they're comping it with stuff around, and then erasing it manually. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of work that goes obviously into something like this. And it's just really cool seeing other people's process and kind of analyzing it. Let me see what else. Yeah, so they're erasing a little bit of it. Oh, she's going to make it look like it's coming out of the dress, or is it just flying? I feel like I want this to be a little bit faster. Sorry. Yeah, it is coming out of the dress. Okay. So a lot of drawing, a lot of painting. Sort of like more traditional compositing. Okay. And then they're using AI to like over here in the neck area, like removing what they had there before. Okay, and they have these feathers prompt that they're using to add and take away from different areas of the body. Really cool. All right, so cool little process. I don't know how much it's gonna help us. Let's jump into our image right now. So this is part of the process that I feel like it's really cool to look at and kind of learn. And you know, I was talking about the hands a second ago. I feel like this is kind of cool. Like this kind of like ambience is kind of cool. I love this as well. So I feel like here we already have, let me screenshot this over here. We have a good kind of like thing to go off of. So we can ask to create a prompt that describes this image. So we'll do it like this because just to see what we can get here that is kind of similar to this. And then we'll see if we can get something close to what we want. I feel like this part of the process is normally something that I've talked about on the show, but I haven't actually gone into it. We can do it here. I love doing it in boards because inside of boards, we can see everything that we're doing, and we can use the same tools inside of boards, but we have like the whole history in front of us. So let's do it inside of boards real quick. I feel like it'll be easier that way. And so we're going to generate image, and then we're going to do like this. And then let's send it there. And then the other thing that I saw is the edit image. I've never tried that before, and I saw it today when I went into Firefly right before the show. So let me go Firefly again, and let's go to the edit image side of it. Let me see. This generated fill. What did I do here? I'm a little lost where my things are at. Okay, here they are. Okay, so that's what it generated. Let's do it with Firefly 5. Send it. And let's do another one with Runway. Let's send that. There's more models like Flux 1. I'm going to do one Flux 1. And I actually want the thing to be more of a square. So here we're just testing out what we get from some of these, and you can start seeing some of them are pretty cool. This one, for example, would need to be extended. So expand. Again, some things that I normally don't show on the show because I'm running and doing things before the show just to get it to this point, and we can do the whole process together. I used this a bunch of times this week, and it worked well for me. You're talking about Firefly and boards? Okay, this is sweet. So yeah, so it's a little bit of this part of the process I haven't kind of touched on. because of I've described it, but I don't think I've ever made it in front of you guys. I love this one because if we do the hand concept that we talked about, I feel like this inside of a hand would be crazy. What do you guys think? I feel like this would be insane. Like if this is all like hand texture, like there's a huge hand and this inside of it, that would be crazy. How many gens can you do concurrently? I have no clue actually. I've never wondered. Like I've never. I don't know. Let me see. I'm not gonna try because I don't want to break it. But I don't know. 5, 6, 7. I just keep pressing, which is great because you have the cool thing about this is that you have all these different models that you can do stuff with. And I believe this one was a ChatGPT one. Was it? Yeah, ChatGPT. So they all react differently. Okay, you see the ChatGPT one's pretty similar. It's pretty similar to each other. Also, I did make the prompt on ChatGPT, so I feel like it was the best one to describe what's going on. So it's pretty cool that it's doing it like this. And I do love this image. I feel like it's pretty good. I'm gonna edit and expand a little bit up. Sweet. Okay, so what is our prompt again? We are doing echoes of a sleep, fragmented dreams. Okay. And then we had this idea of the hand. This is so bad. So the hand is kind of like that. That's the angle of the hand. And then this face is inside of the hand. That's pretty wild. Okay. So, all right. So, did I click expand? I didn't. Okay. So, let me see. Now we need a hand. Let me go back to Pinterest. And I just want to get like, let's do hand. See what happens. Sweet. Just to see some positioning of hands. I mean, the position that I want is literally like, I don't know if you guys can see my camera, but it's kind of like just this, like kind of like that. Because I feel like that would look well with the head over here like this. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I feel like this is close. Like as far as like positioning goes. It needs to be like slanted a little bit more towards the camera. I mean, this position could be good too. So let me grab this, download it. And then let's go back to ChatGPT and say, create a prompt that would give me an image of a hand like this, but not in black and white. So yeah, we should be able to send it here. I don't know what's happening. Okay, we're creating a bunch of stuff in a bunch of places. We're gonna keep this one, see generate, and then we have a few other ones. But I feel like, how do you guys feel about this? I feel like out of these, I like this one. I don't love the model. She's wearing too much makeup. So it kind of feels like this could be cool for like a 50s sci-fi kind of look. I feel like it could be really cool. I feel like this lands better on the realm that we're talking about. Have you used Arif? What are you referring to? Tune Beta? I'm not sure. All right, I think I'm gonna download this one. Let me download this one. I like it. Sweet. Okay, so I'm downloading that one, and then we should. Let me see if I can send this in. I think I have to refresh my page real quick. and then do that again. Yeah, I don't know what's happening right now with this. My ChatGPT is messing up. I essentially want to create a prompt for, to describe this image over here. Here it is. Boom. All right. So we should be good to go. I do like this one better, like the way it is, and I think it could be cool. So let's grab this one and then put it inside of Photoshop. There it is. Sweet. And maybe the sizing of it needs to be something like that. And then we want the hand to be around. So you guys, you guys saw the ugly sketch that I had. What I'm going to do now is that I'm going to create a mask while we are getting that other prompt. And I'm going to be racing around because we're going to blend that into the other photo a little bit better. Sweet. So I just want to go all the way to the edge. And then obviously I erased a little bit of it. So I'm going to click on the white and bring some of the stuff back. Sweet. All of a sudden started raining here like crazy. Is that what I'm hearing? I think it is. You know what's crazy about where I live? The day is totally normal, and all of a sudden there's a storm. And there's no like warning. I used to live in Cuba. In Cuba, you have like hurricanes and stuff like that, but you know when they're coming for a while. Now it's just like where I live now. It's just it just happens. So it's kind of wild. All right. So what I'm gonna do sometimes. What I like to do is that I like to kind of load the same image that I created. So I use the same kind of engine to do it, and I'm gonna click generate. So that way it kind of has the same look. Same thing in New Orleans. Yeah, we're kind of close. I'm in Texas, so it's just crazy. It just happens. What's up, Dinah? Good to see you. Welcome to this chat, man. Thank you for being here today. We are creating a surreal poster. Let me read the what it is again. Dream state? No, echoes of sleep. Echoes of sleep, fragments of dreams, traced to memory. We're using a hand, or trying to create a hand that would go in here. Okay, so it created this hand that is not at all what I wanted, because what I want is a little bit more realistic hand. So this is kind of like the back and forth that has to happen sometimes with creating an image like this. So you have to kind of like go a little bit back and forth to create it, and sometimes find a different reference to do it. And use something different. And I love this hand. I feel like this hand is a little bit better. So let's generate this kind of like position. We've created in the show other times where we can find a pose and kind of describe the pose on the position of the hand. And then if you have an image that we like, we can change it to that position using AI. So I feel like that's also something to keep in mind when doing something like this. All right, so I asked her to describe the position and style a little bit better. So we should be getting something else here. It's a little bit closer. Okay. So I keep having to go back and forth in all of the different things. So it created this one now, but you see it created the same flat image that it was before, but with the style of that second photo. So this is where I had to go in and say, hey, thank you for doing this, but I want it to be more of a straight type of the position, not to be as straight, but to be a little bit more tilted like the other photo. So that's why I asked it to describe the other image. I cannot tell if this is going to be good or not, because it's such a crazy kind of concept. Like I feel like it makes no sense, but we're gonna keep going with it. So for anybody that's showing up and is looking at these and wondering what we're doing a poster called what is it called again? Echoes of Sleep, Fragmented Dreams, Trace of Memory. So the idea was to do this hand that is kind of holding the, like kind of holding a kind of this sleepy face. So it's kind of like remembering your dreams. So we're creating different hands right now to see if we can get one that looks good enough. So I'm gonna generate with a few more because it's not getting the position well. Something else that I do here, so you guys can see a little bit of this problem process back and forth, is that I sometimes input what I got here and I say, hey, this is what I got. Is not in the same position. And then it'll create another prompt that will hopefully be a little bit closer to this. I want to see first, let me throw this in here and see how this compares to that. Like how it kind of lands with it. Yeah, I feel like this could work. Obviously gonna have to like do a little bit of that. And then the outside of it, I'm going to make it look like the same skin color and all that so that it works, and we can do some dramatic. After we're done creating the kind of like the image, I want to look at some inspiration on like opera type of arts, because it would be cool to, I don't even know where I'm pasting these. I have so many places with prompts. I want to see kind of some inspirations of our styling that feel a little bit off-putting. And I feel like opera type designs or opera posters are kind of feel like that. They kind of feel dramatic and dreamish. Yeah, look at these. These are sick. So maybe we can draw some inspiration from this to then apply the style, right? So that's another thing that we can kind of learn from this. Is like, yes, we can create something amazing and do something cool, like conceptually, but then we cannot forget to then apply stylistically, like kind of like the vibe behind it too. Otherwise, it just stays as something that is a cool idea, but it doesn't come across. What I'm going to be doing now here, instead of like doing that, I'm going to add this image here and ask to see this as reference for the hand position. Yeah, this is like taking so much of our time to create this hand in the right position. One thing that you can also do that I cannot do right now is just to take a photo. Like you can see like in my camera right now, like how well this kind of like fits with that, like just the lighting and everything. So just doing something as simple as that sometimes is way easier than trying to spend a ton of time creating things that sometimes doesn't give you the result that you want. But yeah, you see it's not really giving us the right position. It's like a little bit more sideways position what we want. Okay. Let me do this and see if we can get something a little bit closer. Otherwise, for the sake of this, we can use this image. I don't know what this image is like. I'm not obviously selling any of this. I'm just creating it for the sake of the show. So let me bring it inside of Photoshop, and then let's go ahead and do, let's expand it. Upscale. That's what I'm looking for. Let's do, let's upscale this image a little bit. So I'm gonna do 2x, and it's going to be doing here this thing for about a minute to 3 minutes to see if we can get a little bit higher quality here. And then let's go back into here. And this is what my creative process normally looks like in real life. It's just like a lot of back and forth of like doing things between softwares and between things, and sometimes they work great, sometimes they don't work that well. It's just taking time. This kind of copy the same image, which is not great, but for now it's the closest thing we've had. And this is like an upscale of that. The bad thing about upscale is that sometimes it adds a lot of details that we don't want, like all these kind of wrinkles in the hand. All right, so we're going to be using this one over here. Let me throw it in. Yeah, I feel like this one will be okay to use. And then we're going to be going in and saying remove background. Yeah, one thing that AI doesn't do well with is the blood and all that. So I'm surprised that it even did that with that blood over there. Okay, so hand, boom, face, boom, surreal, it's dramatic. It's everything we were looking for. Right now, there's something that we need to do. We either commit to the coloring on our models, like kind of like you see her skin's pretty yellow and there's just kind of a yellow hue on the whole photo. We either commit to that or we switch to sort of like the other hand. I feel like this is more straight on. Let me put it on top of this. This could be cool too, this combination of these two other ones. I know this is a different image and a different hand, but maybe this is a combo we want to explore. Yeah, so there's a bit of back and forth on some of these processes, guys. All right, boom, that is going in, and then this one is going in. I wonder if we click remove background, what happens? If it removes the whole thing, or yeah, sometimes the remove background thing doesn't really work for me. Like it works, but it doesn't work when you have an image that has certain components, and I haven't figured out what that is yet. Okay, so we're gonna erase around the whole thing. I wish this show today was 2 hours long, because I feel like we need it. Right, so I'm erasing some of these things. Sweet. And then let me make it smaller. This could be a cool concept too, because this one, although it's a little bit different, it does have the same kind of like the vibe of the hand and the subject. Feels like it fits pretty well together. So okay, let me do this, and then I'm trying to find a good balance between like the stuff around it and the subject. Obviously, it's something like this, but then we would mask out the subject. I'm working right now only on the outside coloring, and I want my subject to be the color that the subject is. Sweet. Awesome. And then I also want to do hue saturation one. We want to desaturate this a little bit. And maybe we do... Will colorize be the best one? Probably not. So desaturate a little bit. There's also noise level here that is also not helping. It's looking better on this edge over here on this side of the head, but not on this one. We'll do the same thing. Yes. Okay. And then we can keep blending this a little bit more, which I feel like we need to. We just need to make it look like it's partially part of it. So that's good. And then I'm gonna put them on a folder, and I want to do a curves layer that is affecting everything from the shadows to the actual things, which might mess it up, but I feel like it could work a little bit. It's getting there. It doesn't look too realistic yet. Sweet. Okay. Somewhat. It's getting close to it. Let me go ahead and remove the background of this. Remove background of this image. Okay. I want to see the whole concept coming together. And I want to slice this hand. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Boom, boom, boom. Maybe I went too harsh with this. Okay. All right, so we're going to be cutting this out as well. I have the wrong layering. There it is. Boom. All right, so we have that. I did like a lot the kind of like the opera feel of those posters. Let's look at them real quick again and just see if there's something that we can learn from it. While we were thinking about that, I'm gonna kind of edit the hand to be a little bit more dramatic as well. But you see, it would have helped that this hand would be a little bit more rotated. So maybe, just maybe, we can use the rotate tool. Okay, let's click on the hand again. Let's get rid of this because we're gonna have to cut it out again. And let's go rotate object. And let's see if we can rotate the hand a little bit. I feel like this would be a good case for actually rotating the hand on something that feels better and feels a little bit nicer, because the head is looking that way. So the hand feels like it needs to be rotated a little bit. All right, so we're gonna rotate the hand. Rotating the hand a little bit. Sometimes I forget about the tools that we have. It's just like, I forgot that we could do rotate, and I'm trying to rotate this hand using AI somewhere else, and it's not working. So, boom, that works. So when it clicks in, it's going to do it. And we should be getting a little bit closer to our goal over here. Okay, so while that's happening, I remember what I was going to do. I was going to look at some of these opera type things, and kind of figured out some styling that we can do on our poster. Because like one thing that sometimes like would kill me is that I have a really cool thing going, and then at the end what's missing is to destroy that beautiful thing that you did, right? Like you spent a lot of time kind of like modeling this thing, making sure that it fits in, which we have spent a ton of time today. But I mean, in general, we spend a ton of time trying to make it look like, or like it belongs to the whole space, or like it is actually here and is interacting with this thing, and how do we make it look more realistic? And we are spending all this time doing this, and then the solution at the end is to destroy that, quote unquote, like meaning the solution is to like sort of like styling the whole thing in a way that kind of like breaks the effort that you put in doing some of the things before. So and I feel like that's what brings the artworks from like looking okay to like looking like super cool, is that kind of like spending the time to do that. We have to color match this a little bit more. There's a tool called Harmonize that helps you do that. Just sometimes it doesn't really work that well. Sometimes it works amazing, sometimes it doesn't. I don't even want to try it right now because I feel like we're running out of time so fast. We only got 10 more minutes. So I want to kind of stylize this to a place where it kind of like looks like it belongs here. But you can see some of the change here. One of the problems here is also there's no more noise on this photo than on the hand. And you can see the change of quality there. So one cheat for that is to go grain on the hand. So we're going to go a little bit of grain inside of the hand. So mount, yeah. And then we kind of want to match the other one. And if it's really hard to match it like this, you see it's kind of looking good. What you do is that you apply also the same amount of grain to the subject. So that way now the grain like kind of blends all together. So That's looking pretty cool. I like that. It looks weird and cool at the same time. So I'm liking this. And it's also visually kind of like disturbing and striking, which I feel like it feels like a dream, you know, which is cool. And it also works well with our sketch. It's kind of similar to what we had. We don't have the stuff coming up, but maybe we can do that as a graphic aspect on the back. So I'm gonna do the squares on the back that are going to be our dream kind of things going up. And then maybe what we do is that we drop this on the back instead of having them on the front. So we have these two things. We're gonna move them down. No. You and you. Layers. Behave. Okay, down. And I love the coloring of some of these. I mean, I love these colors. I feel like they're going to be too soft for what we're doing. I'm going to drop them here so we can see it. And then let's drop here. Let's see that red. That red was so good. Copy image. I'm going to drop this red over here. And I love, because you couldn't tell maybe before, but it's like a gradient. So I love that gradient on that. I feel like that is something that we can apply here. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. We're going to copy some of the red on the top. I'm legit just doing copying color by color this gradient over here. And my computer's messing up, but it's doing it perfect. Yeah, I love that. And I love the coloring even on the figure. I'm going to turn it off for now. I love the, yeah, something is happening. You see every time I move stuff around in my computer, it's messing up. Okay. All right, I moved that. Maybe that helped. Yep, I think it did. Sweet. Okay, so we have these kind of like random squares over here, but I do think that they could work if we make them like a graphic aspect like this, like a graphic thing on our design a little bit. Yeah, and then I don't know. It just adds a little bit of a layer there. It's not fantastic. It's getting there. It's an idea. It's an idea and it's getting there. Okay, so sweet. Let me erase one thing that I do need to do here. So you see there's a change here of colors. So I want to erase this, a little bit of this. And then I'm gonna bring them back a second. This is something that this is a mistake that I always do. I always focus too much on the details sometimes. And that's a great thing for like a round 2. Because on a round 2, meaning, okay, the client's like, oh, I love this, let's move forward. That's when you come back and you kind of do these things. But sometimes I want to see it finished. I'm like, is it going to work or not? And it is going to work. It just sometimes takes time to get all these details done. But you can see already how much better that looks right there. Like it looks like it's part of it. And I think that's super cool. Yeah, there's also some things here in the hand that can be fixed a little bit. But yeah, I love the position of the letters on both of these posters. I feel like they're brilliant. I love this thing. Luckily, we do have some text that I don't have to type in. So I'm just going to copy it straight from here. Echoes of sleep. Okay. I feel like we should have leaned more into the echoes part of the prompt or of the title. I mean, now using the word prompt is immediately tied to AI. So, okay, echoes of sleep. Obviously not a cool font. It is cool, but not for these. Maybe. I mean, I think this one is obviously kind of boring, but I feel like it's perfect for this. Let me look for other options real quick. We don't have a ton of time, and I do want to kind of finish, quote unquote, finish something. I think this one is interesting. It's a bit of a risk. Yeah, let's take the risk. Why not? The reason why I said it's a risk is like I don't think we have time to like kind of like edit it big time or like mess around with it too much, but I do like it. I still love how smart the coloration is on that one. Echoes of Sleep. It's not. Yeah, we're gonna have to end up changing the font. I do like how expressive it is, but it's not the right font for this. Oh, this one looks kind of cool because the red is bringing already some of these things. And you see, this is where maybe the squares are not really working that well. So we will remove that. We'll keep these. We have a small tagline. Yes, we do. Sweet. We're gonna bring that in and put it on put it down here. See how small we can make that. And we have a long description. I just want like 2 sentences, something like that. How far are we from? Oh, we're 4 minutes away. Okay, so 4 minutes away. I feel like we can still kind of like do something here with the text that I'm looking for. Font. It's a little bit like a standard font. New has maybe. Yep. A bit of a standard font, but it's a cool font. We can do this. We can do that. Trying to do a description over here of what's happening with this thing. Sweet. I'm gonna leave it over here. Kind of line it up a little bit. Okay, and on here we could do, yeah, something like this. I feel like it needs a little bit of texture. It needs also a sentence on the bottom just to bring it together a tiny bit more. I'm just trying to look at, okay, some of the spacing that we have and like doing some of these. Yeah, I feel like this could work. Make it a little bit smaller. Sweet. Yeah, it's looking cool. So I like this. I feel like it works. I'm gonna rotate the hand a little bit more. We can even zoom into it more. And we do need a texture. Luckily, I do have some textures that are super cool. So I'm gonna go find them real quick on my folders. So posters and then mockups, and then I should have here some really cool textures that I could use. Maybe this one would do. I'm gonna throw it on top of everything over here. Sweet, look at this. Just going to bring some of these things together, maybe in the back. Cool thing about these textures is that I can colorize them. Are we in time? Okay, we're 1 minute away. We kind of have to go. But I love how this is looking. I'm going to post it inside of Discord. Don't forget to go to Discord and check it out. Thank you so much, Arif. Thank you for the encouragements. Thank you, everybody, for commenting today. Yeah, I do like how this feels. It feels very opera-like, very dramatic. I do think that we did what we're here for. We accomplished it, and yeah, I'm proud of how it turned out. I know it was a little bit of like, you know, putting together all the different things, all different assets. But yeah, this is a super cool little project here. I love you guys. Thank you again for being here another week, and I'll be seeing you guys on Discord. Make sure you go to Discord. I'm gonna post a screenshot of this on Discord so you guys can look at it a little bit closely. The face looks a little bit more yellow than it needs to be, so I might do a quick change on that real quick, just making it a little bit more red, just a tiny bit. But yeah, I feel like it's looking pretty good, and I'm happy about the result. And I'll see you guys next week. I'll be here next week on Thursday, same time, and we can connect, hang out, do what we're here to do, create. Don't forget to add your creations inside of Discord for me to review and for the community to see. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. I'll see you next week. Ciao.